I just finished digging some bunching onions out in the garden. They smell so nice and fresh this time of year that it reminds me that now's the time to sow my seed for onions for next spring planting. When you're thinking about sowing seed for onions or any transplants, you want to consider the ideal planting date, which in Oklahoma for onions is early to mid-February, and then back that up 6 weeks so you'll know the ideal time for planting. So for here in central Oklahoma, we want to sow our onion seed in late December or early January, and no later or you'll miss the ideal planting time. Now when sowing onion seed, it is best, since the seed are very small, and as with any seed, you want a sterile medium. I'm using a mix that is a mixture of peat, which is milled sphagnum peat moss, very finely ground, and vermiculite. And this particular mix is quite dusty and takes a long time to wet down because of the quantity of peat in it. For that reason, an hour before I started visiting with you about this, I spent time with my watering can, and I just went over and gently sprinkled every few minutes, sprinkled the soil to let it wet down. And this did take about an hour to do with repeated applications of water to make sure it would soak up real well. Another point I'd like to make about sowing any kind of seed for transplants is make sure that you use clean containers. And here's a container that was used last year for growing some transplants, and it hasn't been cleaned up yet. And we have a little slight white crust of fertilizer residue or fertilizer salts right around the rim, and also there's some soil left down in there. You want to brush those out with a stiff brush, use hot soap and water, and then dip them in a mild Clorox solution to sterilize the containers. Because you're using a sterile potting medium, you don't want to contaminate it by using dirty containers. Now in sowing onion varieties, there are many, many to choose from. I've picked 4 to put in our garden this year. This particular one is Red Creole. It's a good flavored onion that is excellent for slicing and putting on hamburgers. The next one is a hybrid Granex onion called Maui. It's bred in Hawaii, and this particular onion is ideal for stir frying for Oriental food because the onion will soften up very quickly when cooking. The next one is an Excel type of yellow Bermuda, very good keeping onion. And last of all is Crystal White Wax, which is one that I like to grow. It has very pure white flesh, and it's excellent for harvesting for small pearl onions. No matter which type you select to plant, make sure you put in a variety of onions, and also make sure you fertilize them and harden them off before planting in a few weeks.